HS2, as we've often heard, will create a faster and more efficient rail link between London and the north. But the whole project is currently under review, and it's possible that it will be scrapped or the route shortened so that it no longer terminates at Euston. So what would this mean for the capital? BBC London's transport correspondent Tom Edwards went to investigate.
High Speed 2, the mega project that splits opinion. It aims to slash journey times between London and the north with trains travelling at 250 miles an hour. But it could cost £88 billion, making it one of the most expensive transport projects ever. And it's been controversial from the beginning. This is Harefield in the Greenbelt in northwest London, and High Speed 2, or HS2 as it's known, will cut right through here. Campaigners want to stop more destruction. Sarah's been part of the camp for 2 years.
Every bit of greenery here in front of you, these hedgerows, the meadows, all of it gets destroyed.
So HS2 is coming right along this line
right across,
here.
everything you can see here will get impacted.
Campaigners also fear HS2 will damage and pollute the water supply, although the company says that won't be compromised.
It is having a terrible impact on the green belt and the green lungs of London. Already 3,000 trees have been taken down, and they're now verging on the nature reserves. So we need these nature reserves. They're just full of life. People need an area like this within the M25. If it's destroyed, we'll never get it back.
This is a map of the route. It'll start in London Euston. The first stop will be Old Oak Common in the suburbs of London. Then, as part of phase 1, it'll go right up to Birmingham. Eventually, as part of phase 2, it could go up to Manchester and to Leeds. But there is now an independent review of this project, and its whole future is hanging in the balance. That review is now looking at options, including scrapping it. That's what they want here.
I think it should be scrapped, and they should spend the money to do more local infrastructure.
It is just a waste of money, a terrible waste of taxpayers' money, and it will destroy vast acres of land just when we really need it. We're in the middle of a climate emergency, for heaven's sake.
We'll be here to the end until we see HS2 completely pack up, and then hopefully we'll be able to be involved in the reconstruction and replanting of the oak trees that they've taken already.
But many say HS2 is vital to create jobs and homes, and many think it will help to spread wealth from the south to the north.
High Speed 2 is a critical investment for London, not just because of the increased number of seats and number of rail services that this new route will enable, but also the area regeneration around Euston and Old Oak Common. And what that means is, it means more housing, it means more jobs, more opportunities.
From the camp in Harefield, we jump in a car and travel the 40 miles to Old Oak Common, one of the main stations for HS2. The same distance will be covered in just minutes by a high-speed train. Well, as you saw there, a lot of people are against HS2, but its supporters say this is about getting cars off the road and also freeing up the existing rail network. And it's also about regenerating areas, creating new homes and jobs, like at Old Oak Common, where we're going now. Old Oak Common is meant to become the Canary Wharf of the West, a huge development of homes and businesses, and HS2 is a key part of that, along with Crossrail and the Overground. But the development has already come at a cost to those living nearby.
You can see piles, mountains of dirt there. They've demolished dozens of sheds and buildings, and they've still got to do those, so you can imagine what the noise is like.
Amanda Souter lives near the site. She's had air filters put in by HS2. It says it does all it can to minimise impacts of the construction, but she's worried.
So look, you can just see it's absolutely black, and when you put your finger in it, it's got this sort of weird, oily, sooty feel about it.
Does that worry you that that's going into your lungs?
It's absolutely terrifying.
She thinks the scheme will go ahead, but for her the worst option is more delays.
I think they're just too over-invested in it, and I just think they'll try and cut corners and probably save money. But I think The worst thing for the local residents would be if the project is delayed, which would mean that we'd be stuck several more years just living in this complete wasteland.
The other option is to end HS2 right here at Old Oak Common. The problem with that is you'd have to get off the HS2 train and transfer onto either the overground or the new Crossrail line. But it would save billions of pounds because you wouldn't have to tunnel under central London to London Euston. We've been told that this is now being given serious consideration by the Department for Transport as a compromise. The DFT won't comment on that, but if the plan is changed and HS2 ends here, this huge development would have to go back to the drawing board, meaning more delays. TfL also says Crossrail can't cope with more passengers.
We need to have a station at Euston, but also at Old Oak Common. And if the government tries to shortchange Londoners, it will be ultimately the country, businesses, families that are shortchanged. I'd ask the government during the review to make sure they recognise the benefits to the country by London having the investment we need.
We follow the line to its end at London Euston. From the air, you can see the tower blocks being knocked down brick by brick. 220 homes have been demolished here. There has already been disruption. HS2 says it can't talk at the moment due to the review, but they showed us the work they've already done. This site here is absolutely huge, and this is where one day 11 platforms could be. So far, £1.2 billion has been spent on London property. That's out of a total spend of £7 billion. And if the project doesn't go ahead in its current form at the moment, nobody knows what will happen here.
I think it's a scheme that has an enormous amount of value, but at the same time it's made that classic mistake of taking too long to get to reality and also not potentially being priced properly when it was first built and first established as an idea.
If there are changes to HS2, for some it has come too late. 2 years ago we filmed on the last day of the Brie Louise. That has now completely gone.
First time I've been around here, and it took me 10 minutes to find the spot, to be honest.
And what's it like seeing it like that?
Soul destroying. I mean, it doesn't matter now that that's a hole in the ground, so it doesn't matter. If they redeveloped it now and said you can have your pub back, it would take 15 years and I'll be 75 years old, so it really won't matter.
How or if HS2 goes ahead will eventually be a government decision. Whatever happens to this mega project, it won't please everyone.